Hi, I'm Ben, and I want to talk to you all about the movies that I watched in May. Originally, it was just going to be May at the movies, as in the movies that I saw up on the big screen, but I was looking at my letterboxd, and it was a good month for movies in general for me, so I want to widen that net. So I started off the month by seeing Thunderbolts in IMAX, and that was dope. Loved that. So much so that I saw it again later in the month. My wife was over in America, and when she came back, I had to bring her to see it as well, so we did that. So like I said, I saw Thunderbolts twice. Dope movie. Florence Pugh's amazing. They're all pretty good, but Florence Pugh, amazing. Then on May the 4th, I had a couple of friends around and we watched The Phantom Menace, because of course we did. And then after that, I gave them a Phantom Menace quiz, and then the bonus round of that quiz was to, from memory, draw Jar Jar Binks. And it was a lot of fun, and they didn't do a great job. Maddie did alright, Maddie was the winner, check it out. But that was fun anyway, you know me, I love the Star Wars. Then I got sick, and so for a comfort movie I watched a Goofy movie, which is amazing. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and that new documentary is out now. Except it's not out in the UK. What's up with that? Anyway, because of the hype of that documentary, I revisited a Goofy movie, and I loved it, and it didn't quite heal me, but I eventually got better. Here I am, don't worry, don't panic.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Next up, I watched The Zone of Interest on the 7th, which is really heavy and really, really good. A very sobering movie, all about the Holocaust, and it's a big recommendation. Really cool movie, really interestingly made. Anyway, then on the 8th, I watched Dream Scenario, which is a Nick Cage movie where everyone starts dreaming of him. And it was a weird one. It's a really weird one. I kind of wanted to like it more than I did, but it's still an interesting watch, and so I still recommend checking it out, but it's weird. Spoiler alert, but he literally comes and farts in it at the same time, to clarify. So yeah, I loved it. Then I got back on my Final Destination bullshit. I went to a Final Destination double bill, which was amazing fun. I enjoy the Final Destination franchise a lot, but revisiting them and seeing the first one up on the big screen, and then obviously the new one, Final Destination Bloodlines, just revitalized my love and my passion for that franchise. It's just so much fun. Even the worst one is a lot of fun. That original one is so iconic, and Bloodlines was such a great time. It's gory, it's gnarly as hell. The opening to that film might be my new favourite inciting incident from the franchise, and it's also maybe my second or third favourite Final Destination movie in general. So good. Then on the 11th, I saw Drop, which was it was alright. I think the thing that really stood out to me the most in that movie was how frustrating she was being. Like, if I were her date and she kept getting up and doing all this bullshit, I would have been out of there. That guy had so much patience. Overall, it's alright. If you watch the trailer and you think it looks interesting, it's worth a watch, but far from my favourite movie that I'm going to talk about this month.
I'll be right back.
Next up, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. What a franchise that is. I absolutely adore the Mission Impossible movies, and I think that for each of the last couple of them that have been released, you could argue that they are the best one yet. However, I didn't quite think that about this latest one. I really enjoyed it. I think it was so good. I loved how it tied into other films throughout the franchise. I didn't think that was necessary, but if this is going to be the last one, then it was a nice touch. I shouldn't have led by saying it's not my favourite one, because that implies criticism, but this is still an amazing time. It's quite a long movie, but it rushes along at a breakneck pace, and epic stunt after epic stunt. There's about half an hour in there where Tom Cruise is underwater in a submarine, and there's no dialogue or anything, and I didn't realise that half an hour had passed until I kind of revisited it after the fact, because I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. It is so tense, it is so good. You know, it's the last film, so maybe he'll die, but at that part I was like, he's not going to die yet, because I haven't seen the big aeroplane scene that they put in all the trailers. It's all so good, and it's also worth it, and it's so bombastic and exciting and epic. And I saw it on IMAX. So we were sitting closer than we would like to the front, and so because it was IMAX, it was
I'm Tom Cruise, and I'm the living manifestation of destiny.
Then, after watching the incredible series Andor, my wife and I revisited Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and it's a banger. It is a certified banger. It's shot so well, it's such a beautiful film, and also obviously revisiting Andor adds so many more layers to it that make the movie even more enjoyable than it already was. Great movie. Great movie. Again, big Star Wars fan here, so I like Star Wars. What can I say? Yum 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 yum. I eat that up. Then I watched The Gorge. Apple TV Plus is The Gorge, and it's not great, but Anya Taylor-Joy is in it, and Anya Taylor-Joy is gorgeous. That's all I got for that one. Wasn't great. Then I watched Final Destination 2, then I watched Final Destination 3, then I took a break and watched Around the World in 80 Days. For some reason. Then I watched The Final Destination, which I think is probably the worst one. Like I say, even the worst one is still kind of fun. There are some cool deaths in that. The one where the guy gets his butt sucked out, I think, is in that one, so that's pretty cool. And then I watched The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, and boy do I wish I could have seen that up on the big screen, but it did not get a wide release in the UK, so that sucks, because I want to support animation. I love animation, and they won't even let me. Ugh. So I pirated it. I'm only joking. Day the Earth Blew Up is a big recommendation, starring Porky Pig and Daffy Duck, chaotic in the best possible way. Then I saw Thunderbolts again, still amazing. Then we finished off our Final Destination rewatch with Final Destination 5, which is another pretty good one, in my opinion. I think that one and the fourth one, The Final Destination, were both filmed with 3D in mind. 3D was all the rage back then, and watching it at my house, a lot of those effects don't age very well. They look very digital. However, I imagine being in the cinema and seeing that up on the big screen would have been pretty epic at the time. I think that would have been a really fun film experience, and so I'm ashamed that I didn't get a chance to do that. But like I said, the last one, watching it at home, still pretty good. Overall, really, really great franchise. And then we started another rewatch as we began the Hunger Games franchise. I haven't seen the Hunger Games in a long time, and I remember being a bit underwhelmed by the ending, but the first two were pretty good, and revisiting them, yeah, the first two are really good. The first one does a really good job at building the world, and Jennifer Lawrence is amazing. In fact, the whole cast are really solid, and then I think the second one, Catching Fire, is even better. It retreads some of the grounds of the first film, but I think it enhances it, I think it makes it better, and I think it makes the overall story more frustrating. So I think this story of rebellion that it built up is really intriguing, and I'm so in. Maybe it's because I was watching Andor and Rogue One, and I'm feeling very radicalized right now, especially, considering how much everything in the real world kind of sucks right now. Let's not get into it. But yeah, the Hunger Games franchise, I think I'm a fan. No, I am a fan. I'm going to say it wholeheartedly. I'm a fan. I'm going to check out the last one soon. Maybe I'll mention that. Maybe I'll do this video again next month, and then maybe I'll talk about the finale of my Hunger Games rewatch. And then the other night I went to a secret screening, which is a secret screening at my local cinema, but specifically for horror movies, and I saw the movie The Ritual, which starred Dan Stevens and Al Pacino, and was okay. It was just alright. It's an exorcism film, but it's pretty by the numbers. Crisis of faith, yada yada yada. Also, the way it's filmed was really jarring. It was filmed like an episode of The Office. A lot of handheld cameras. They did not have a single tripod on set any of the days they were making that movie, that's for sure. It felt too documentary-like, and it felt too goofy then. Like I said, The Office, my wife actually leaned over to me and said, "Why is this movie filmed like it's The Office?"
I feel God in this Chili's tonight.
And then I couldn't get that out of my head for the rest of the movie, so unfortunately not a recommendation. And there we are. That is me up to the end of my May at the Movies video, so thanks so much for watching. I hope you got some cool recommendations out of this. What was your favourite movie that you watched this month? That's what I want to know. Me? Good question. If I had to pick my favourite movie that I watched in May, it would probably be Around the World in 80... No, it's not Around the World in 80 Days. It's probably Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. But good month. I really enjoyed Thunderbolts, and I really enjoyed Final Destination Bloodlines as well. It was a good month, alright? And next month's going to be a good month too. So maybe I'll do this again at the end of the month. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, etc. Blah, 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 blah. And if you want me to do another one of these, let me know. Alright, bye.